Thanks for the introduction. I did start student brands at the University of Johannesburg, Kingsway campus. To give you a bit of overview before I get into my actual speech, whenever I've heard someone speak, it's always, there was a guy who had an idea, he was about to give up, he got some luck, he built an empire and lived happily ever after. That's normally how the speeches go. And that's normally obviously because 98% of businesses that ever try and start normally fail. And that's why the quote that comes in about the next step is never as far as you think. It's because that pushing on drive is what makes a difference. We spoke about resources, we spoke about funding. 325 million is quite a lot of money if you've ever tried to start a business. So it's all of those steps one at a time that everyone thinks is too far. I need to build an empire, I need to be the CEO straight away. I have to have an office building down the road, the old Auto General. You don't have to have that. There's always ways, I think in university they call it bootstrapping. That's really the key. So when I was asked by Gibbsy to talk about my experiences, I had to think back carefully and I started off writing and then I deleted it and then I started again and I deleted it and then I decided, okay, well, let me just start at the beginning. In 2009 is when Student Brands started. I was always obviously into business and always enjoyed it, but Student Brands was really my calling. So in 2009, a group of us decided we were going to start a business. We thought it wasn't so hard, lots of people were doing it. Once we started it, we'd have enough money, employ a whole lot of people, we'd get someone to manage them, and that would be our business. Didn't exactly work out that way. We started on the 1st of March 2009. We took our long journey to Pretoria, to the Cipro's offices, and we stood in queue for about an hour and a half. It's pretty much the length that the speeches have been. And we got to the front and we handed in our application form and we paid at that time, it was 150 Rand to register your company. And the lady at the other side said, you forgot to put your name of the company. Oops. That was as far as our thought process. We knew we wanted to start a business, we had some ideas, but we hadn't got to the point of what were we going to call ourselves, how were we going to do it. It was just that get up and go and let's go and do something, let's take that leap. And that's obviously the key thing. So if you don't plan on listening to me for the rest of the speech, just remember that the leap has to be a key important point, and it's obviously never as far as you think it is. So how did I start Student Brands is normally the question I get asked. Well, I was a student on Kingsway campus. I wanted to hand out flyers for nightclubs, as you've seen on campus many people do. So because I was a student, I thought that the university wouldn't know, so I wouldn't get caught, so I could do it and make a bit of money. Okay, very good. Now we needed a website. Okay, so we needed a website so people knew where we were on campus to come get our stuff. Great. Now we needed stuff on our website that students wanted to get to go and see where we were on campus. So we had to do marketing of ourselves, which we did. So I took my birthday present, which was an iPod Touch, and we gave it away on campus. Those kids that were on campus, that the 5,000 Rand cash giveaway on the iPod Touch, that was us learning how to start a business. And that was the start really of our business. We started on campus, we ran for 3 days. I can tell you I never slept in those 3 days. And we grew a database. We grew 550 students put in their details to win this free product, and we gave it away. And that was the start of Student Brands. The rest of the year we made no money, we made no contacts, we made nothing. All it was we had a website, we had a couple of people inside our database that we would try and talk to every now and then, and that was it. And when you're starting to run a business and you're running for 12 months and you haven't really done anything or made any money, it starts to become very discouraging. And in 2010 we were at the point where I related to a Monopoly game. I don't know who's ever played Monopoly, but when you're down to that last 100 Rand or dollars, depending on which version you're playing, and it's sitting at your table and you're waiting for that person just to land on your property. We all know what we're talking about if you've ever tried to start a business. Right, so in 2010 that happened for us. We had a client that landed on our property and said, right, we want you to do some marketing for us. And there it was. Lovely. I got a check. We went to the closest bank, which was First National. We opened the account, deposited the money, and that was our first check. On the way home, I was saying to my co-partners, well, this is quite easy. All we have to do is get a lot of other businesses to give us this small amount, and we've got a good business. And the lesson I learned there that I often think about is it's not always about how do I get that big client to give me that large sum of money to be successful. You need a lot of small people to give you a small amount of money to make it work. So that was 2010, and obviously we grew nicely and slowly while still trying to do my BCom entrepreneurship at UJ. We got water here. What do you know? Okay. 2011, which was my little business had grown, and so I decided to become a fool and go into the print media. And so we produced our first magazine. We produced it and we put it onto one campus. I sold 4 pages in it, which just covered our cost of producing it. We put content into the magazine that wasn't relevant to students, to anybody anywhere near it. And we printed these magazines. We printed 5,000 of these magazines for one campus. And I remember when they arrived at my house in big brown boxes, which I opened, and I sat the whole night going through each one. 5,000 copies, 36 pages, I went through each one. I don't know why. I don't know if I was looking to see if they were all the same or I was in love with my own magazine. I don't know what it was. I went through each and every one of them. Yeah, that's quite my story. That was our first stepping stone into the real business marketing world. And from there I realized that we either needed to keep this as a side hobby and a part-time business, or we needed to do it full-time. So we decided, we're going to go do this, and we went to go leverage resources. So I went to companies and started asking them, we're a small startup, we need assistance, what can you help us with? Some companies said they can't, some people said they can do marketing. One company turned around and offered us free space to work in, an office. Not a very big office. The office already had 3 people in, so we were going to come in, another 3 of us. So you can imagine 3 of us in half an office space of a small office with 1 telephone line, 1 computer and 2 desks. Wasn't much. Having an office though does teach you something quite important. It gives you the sense of professionalism, similar to wearing a jacket and tie around UJ campus. It gives you a way to get away from distractions. It also teaches you what bad smelling food people bring to the office. But the office, getting an office and getting a resource that we could use or a place to call our home was really, really a big stepping stone for us. And now I will tell you a bit of a part of, I did something that I shouldn't have done. I sold part of our company in 2012 to what seemed like a huge, massive, multinational company that could never get into problems. The company was worth $560 million, okay, South African-based company, so it was quite big, 6,500 employees. And yeah, why wouldn't it? They helped us grow, they made us big, they made our names more powerful. And we learned a lot from them until January 2013, where we decided we have to buy ourselves out. There's a problem in this business and we can't be here, which we did. We fought very hard to get our business back. Because the company that had bought us was 175 million rand in debt, right? And so we bought ourselves out, and I was asked in an interview, are you upset that you said yes at the beginning? So I said, during the time we were trying to fight our ways out, yes, very much so. But afterwards I realized it was a learning experience in myself. It was a learning experience for our business. And that it's something that needs to be shared, that no business is ever going to just be smooth sailing, and even after you get to that smooth sailing point, it's not going to stay smooth sailing. You're going to get to those rocky roads and those bouncy walls that you have to try and get over, and it needs to be understood that that's how every business happens. 2013, the rest of it's been a great year, besides for the 2% growth. We've still grown more than that, which is all that matters. And I thought I'd end off with a 10-step summary, really, of business. It's, you know, if you sit in an entrepreneurship lecture, they'll tell you have to have a business plan, which I fully agree. You have to have your vision and how to get to market and what you're going to do. But there also, A, there has to obviously be the will, but B, there has to be the get up and go. So my 10 steps to starting a business, I guess, is go to university, decide to make money, start a business, stumble a bit, overcome barriers, employ the right people, learn and have fun, make money, love what you do, and then come talk at UJ.